What's up? It's your boy Felix, back again with another video today. Today I'm going to be going through my leg day. I just started on a new program and I have all the clips right here in front of me. I'm actually editing and I thought, why not just put out my thoughts about the workout and critique myself and give y'all some tips that'll help y'all going forward. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so up first, I've got barbell squats, barbell back squats, bread and butter exercise. But y'all see here I have 130 kilos loaded up. Basically my plan going forward is to do 5x5s on most of my compound lifts. And before I do that, one, I have to get back into the technique and getting my form right and everything. Let me just pause it here for a second. Gotta get my form right, my technique, get that correct, get my cadence right before I start lifting heavy again. Another thing too is that I've been dealing with a groin injury since I believe I caught it during the spring or summer. I can't remember, doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm about 80% healed. Things are starting to feel really good. There's still a bit of pain, of course, while squatting, and I really want to make sure that everything is out the way when it comes to that groin injury before I start lifting heavy again. So here y'all see me with 130 kilos on my back. Pretty light. In my case, is usually what I would warm up with. It'd be one of my last warm-up sets at around 130, 135, but I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. I look comfortable. And another thing that I noticed here too when I was watching this clip back is that I just walk away from the weight as if nothing's happened, and that's a really good indicator for me to know that, all right, I'm on the way up, my conditioning is coming back, I'm getting used to the lift. So that's another thing that I like to use to indicate to myself whether I'm ready or not to take the next step and move forward. But yeah, I don't really have too much critique here about my squat form. It looked pretty good. I did see myself bending forward a little bit, and that's one thing I'm probably going to work on going forward, and one thing I have to work on going forward. Yeah, I'm watching back on the reps. I'm leaning forward a bit, trying to avoid that. But besides that, I think my feet placement, everything's pretty good. I really try to imagine that I have the whole sole of my foot just planted in the floor and like someone's taken nails and hammered it in when I squat. That's really important to me, and that's one thing that I really like to watch out for when I'm doing barbell squats. All right, up next we've got barbell RDLs, and RDL stands for Romanian deadlift, for those of you that don't know that. This is one of my go-tos as well when it comes to training hamstrings. That's another thing I forgot to mention. This leg day is hamstring focused. That's another thing I'm going to be doing. I always like to split my focus for each and every single leg day. So one day is quad focused, the other is hamstring focused, and this one's hamstring focused. And I'm starting off with barbell RDLs here. On this exercise, it's something that's routine for me. I am trying to throw some tweaks in there. One thing that I try to do when doing RDLs is that I like to shoot my hips as far back as possible instead of depending on getting as far down as possible. So if I can push my hips as far out as possible and just do the reps, then I'm gonna get a lot out of it, because the further back I push my hips, the more stretch I get in my quads, and the more they have to work on the way back up as well. So that's one thing that I like to do and focus on. Another thing I like to do and focus on when doing barbell RDLs is leading with my chest, and that's something that I've said before in my previous workout videos if I've ever done RDLs on them. Leading with my chest, shooting my hips back as far as possible, and just letting the weight and technique do the work. Another thing here that I like to focus on with barbell RDLs is that I like to also imagine that the whole sole of my foot is planted into the ground and someone's taken a nail and put it into my foot and hammered it in my foot so that it just stays flat. I really try to focus on that so that I can get a good connection and feel everything out. Let's move on to the next exercise here that we've done for the day. Next thing that I did here was single leg curls. Not too often that I do them. Usually I use the normal leg curl machine and just hop on that. But I do want some variation going into this program, and I also want to do some single leg exercises, this being one of them. My main focus when I'm doing single leg leg curls actually is to really shoot my hips into the pad. You see me here. If you look at my hips, they're really shot into the pad, and I'll even grab the handlebars with both. I'll cross my arms and grab the handlebars to pull myself even closer to the pad so that I can really get my hamstrings as vulnerable as possible. And when I say vulnerable, I mean that in a safe manner. I don't mean it in a manner as to where I'm trying to get myself injured. You see me really squeezing my hips into the pad there so that I can get my hamstrings as vulnerable as possible and really get that working on them. Here I'm working on the concentric a lot as well. Really focused on getting that squeeze at the top. The eccentric, it can be important on this exercise, but in my case, I like to focus on the concentric part of it. All right, moving on. I believe this is the last exercise for the day. I had goblet squats, or you could call them heel elevated squats as well, with a dumbbell. But these right here are a bread and butter exercise for me. It's something that I don't go a long time without doing it. And I was doing it a lot over the past 3 or 4 months now, because of the fact that 1, I couldn't squat because of my groin, and 2, it's getting the job done when it comes to maintaining my quads and being able to put in enough load so I can work out properly and get things done. I really enjoy this exercise. It is, like I said, a bread and butter exercise. It's something that I'm probably going to go into a bit more detail and explain for y'all how I do it, how I set it up, and what my mindset is going into it. But yeah, goblet squats for the win, man. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and like I said, something that I'm going to delve into a bit for y'all, because it's something that's a game changer when you do it properly and you're able to load a bit more weight than you usually would doing it. And again, it can be used as a starter or finisher too. So there's so many variations that you can use with it, and that's why it's a bread and butter exercise for me, and something that I want to use a lot going forward and just keep as a staple in my workouts. All right, looks like I'm at the end of the video here. I've edited it a bit shorter than I've spoken on camera. That's all good, doesn't really matter, but I like this concept here where I can sit and look back at my workouts and share it with y'all, give y'all some tips. I know I said some of y'all want to get jacked, want to get built, want to build muscle, and I really want to help y'all do that and give away the knowledge that I had, or that I have, from my years of training. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.